Let's talk about your passions and turning them into true purpose. Because you're on this path of discovering your gifts and superpowers, right? And have you ever thought about how the greatest moments of joy could actually be clues to maybe a deeper purpose that you have? What if those activities that maybe you lose track of time on are actually pointing towards your unique way of serving others? And maybe think about this for a little bit. What if the universe planted your passions as the exact solutions to problems others are facing right now? Well, we're going to dive into all of this, so stick around for this video. My name is Jake Talbert. I'm the founder and author of the GIVER method, and today we're going to be exploring this idea of how we transform passions into purpose. How to turn those natural interests and enthusiasms that you have into meaningful ways to serve others. Now, before we dive deeper into that, if you are new here, please hit subscribe, ring that bell for notifications. Comment along the way if you have any thoughts that you want to share, and like the video, share it with someone after the fact. Of course, I always encourage people to do this, and also find us on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn. Follow us in those places, or go to thegivermethod.com, or for the book that's coming out soon, thegivermethodbook.com. And get on the list, get on the notifications, and start receiving those tips. We don't want you to miss out on any of the things that we put out there about unleashing your gifts and creating meaningful impact in your sphere of influence. Now, I talked a lot about the GIVER method. So the GIVER method book comes out in about a month. And so if you want to get on the pre-launch list where there's some bonuses, go to thegivermethodbook.com. But you're going to hear me use this term GIVER and the GIVER method a lot. So on the channel, there's going to be all sorts of videos where I dive really deep into what the GIVER method is. But for a brief overview, the GIVER method is an acronym. GIVER's an acronym. And it's all about helping people to discover what their unique gifts and superpowers are. How to then create value for others who are in their sphere of influence while building meaningful relationships. And so today, what we talk about is actually plays right into that, because we're going to focus on, what naturally excites you into ways of making a real difference. Now, for each of these ideas, these principles, these things that I share, I'm going to cover a little bit of detail about it, ways that it could show up daily for you, and then I'm going to give you an action item. Now, the action items, I highly recommend you grab a piece of paper or open up a note and just jot down your thoughts while I tell you what they are. Because although it's great that you're watching the video, and I'm super excited that you're watching the video, in reality, it's about the work that you do after. It's what you put into action. So each of them are designed to be things that you can do like today or this week to start putting that principle into action so that you can start turning these passions into true purpose and delivering real value to others. Okay, so let's dive into it. Let's explore these ideas of turning passions into purposeful impact. And so the first one, it's all about finding a pattern of your passion. So it's a passion pattern recognition is what I call it. Your recurring interests aren't just random. They're actually signposts pointing you towards something maybe deeper. So these patterns often emerge in moments when you feel the most engaged and alive, revealing the activities, the environments, or roles that you just naturally are going to thrive in. So it's about uncovering the consistent threads in your life that indicate a unique way that you're contributing to the world. So whether it's your childhood hobby that you may have, that you never grew out of, or interests that consistently resurface for you, these are clues that point towards these intrinsic strengths that you have. So you want to look for and recognize these patterns because they can help you to identify the areas where your passions maybe intersect with the potentials to serve others. So these interests may also reflect your inherent abilities, the innate abilities that you have in you to connect with others or to solve problems in ways that just feel really natural to you. So that could be something like someone who frequently organizes events might have a gift of creating connections, while another who loves storytelling may have a talent of inspiring and educating. So by becoming aware of maybe recurring themes that you have, you can begin to shape a clearer vision of how your passions can align with your purpose. Now, here's that first action item that I was telling you about. So you want to start by creating, I believe you should be journaling daily and writing down what your thoughts are and setting some intentions as you go. So in the journal, you want to put down maybe a section where you write out passion pattern. And so you want to use that journal to uncover recurring themes in your life. Each day, maybe take just 10 minutes to document some of the following things. When did you lose track of time? What were you doing? How did it make you feel? And look for repetitive activities or contexts. Maybe topics that you just can't stop talking about. Pay attention to the subjects that you naturally bring up in conversations. These often indicates maybe deeper interests. maybe problems that you just naturally help others solve. So think about times where people have sought you out for advice or assistance. Maybe what patterns emerge there, or activities that just energize you rather than drain you. After completing an activity, write down how it affected your mood and your energy levels. And by the end of the week, you're going to want to review through them and highlight the activities that, activities or themes that consistently are bringing you joy and fulfillment. Now, our second one is about the value and vision alignment. So your passions become powerful when they're really aligned with your core values and others' needs. So this sort of an alignment, it transforms feeling enthusiasm into purposeful action. Core values, I believe you should have them, that you should know what they are. They're the principles that define what matters most to you, such as integrity or creativity or growth or compassion or delivering world class. When your passions reflect these values, you just naturally feel more authentic and more fulfilled. Similarly, when you do this, when you identify how your interests can meet the needs of others or solve a problem, you're going to unlock the potential for creating even more positive impact. So aligning your passions with the values you have also brings very clarity into your vision. It ensures that your actions are not just enjoyable, but purposeful, bridging that gap between maybe personal satisfaction and meaningful contribution. And so this sort of alignment is going to create that sense of coherence between what you love and what you believe and what the world actually needs from you, resulting in much more fulfillment in life and deeper connections. And so what I'd recommend that you do for this one is you want to draw a Venn diagram, which is where you get the three circles that overlap each other. So draw them so they'll overlap, and in one circle you're going to do what do you love, and list out activities that bring you happiness and excitement. In the next one, you're going to do what does the world need. So identify the challenges or gaps you observe in your community, in your sphere of influence, or areas of interest. And then the third one, what aligns to your values. So reflect on your core principles that, and what truly matters to you the most. So spend time writing down as many ideas as possible for each circle, and then focus on the overlapping sections where the circles meet. This space is where passions have the potential to really become purpose. You can use this exercise to prioritize maybe one or two action items towards, that intersection. And this is a good activity to come back and review every so often, because some of those things that you're passionate about may change over time. Now, our third one is going to be bringing joy to service. There's a bridge you're going to create from joy to service. And so when you transform your personal interest into service, you can find, you do this by finding creative ways to channel your passions into helping others. The key is recognizing that the things that you love can bring value to those around you. For example, if you love baking, your joy in the kitchen can become a way to brighten someone else's day or maybe support a local cause. If you're passionate about fitness, you might guide others through their own wellness journey. So this principle, it's going to basically challenge the misconception that service requires maybe sacrificing what you love. Instead, it shows that when you share your interest generously, both you and the recipient are going to benefit from that. So the joy that you feel when you're engaging in your passions becomes magnified when it positively is going to impact someone else, creating this really awesome cycle of mutual upliftment. And so your action item here is to choose one passion and brainstorm maybe 5 ways that you could solve problems or add value to someone else. If you enjoy writing, you could consider crafting maybe some sort of a blog or some sort of way to educate or inspire people. If you're passionate about fitness, maybe offer a class or help someone, create simple workout guides for themselves. If you love organizing things, maybe, help a friend, streamline some sort of a process that they have. Select one area to test this week. Observe, take the time to really observe the impact that it has on others and how it makes you feel. And then, reflect on whether this activity could be sustainable as a way to bridge joy and service. Now, fourth one is going to be this idea of energy exchange, which I talked about in the first principle, what things are energizing you. You have to notice which activities both energize you and create positive change for others. There's a sweet spot for sustainable impact. Activities that are going to energize you, create positive change for others, are sustainable, and you want to make sure that that are sustainable and in your zone of impact. Sorry about that. These are moments when your personal fulfillment and your external value align, leaving you feeling both accomplished and probably invigorated. So unlike tasks that are going to drain your energy, these pursuits often feel effortless naturally rewarding, and make them easier to sustain over time. And so this exchange is a powerful indicator of where your passions and purpose start to intersect. So what you want to do is pay attention to those activities that recharge you while you're benefiting others. You can identify where to focus your time and energy more when you do that, whether it's teaching or creating or organizing or problem solving. Like, these moments are sweet spots of like purposeful living. And so the action item here, like, track your energy levels after you complete different activities this week. Focus on the moments where you were helping others. Like, use a simple system. Like, think of things like, what are the high energy things that made you feel uplifted, and that you could have kept just doing? What are the maybe neutral energy things that you feel steady but not particularly inspired about? And what were those low energy things that maybe drained you? And document the type of activity. Like, what was the setting? What was your emotional response? And by the end of the week, review your notes to identify those patterns. Highlight the activities where you consistently leave energized, and explore how they could become, the focus for your purpose. Now, our next one is that, expertise and being an expert, the journey that you go on with that. Like, you don't have to wait till you've mastered a skill to share it. Your current level of knowledge or passion may be exactly what someone else needs. I love reading a book recently, and he explained it as, just because you're an expert doesn't mean you're the top of your field. Being an expert, if you know something I don't know, and you have the ability to teach it to me or serve me with it, then you are an expert to me. So often we feel maybe undervalued with our abilities, thinking that, we need to be experts before we can really contribute. However, your unique perspective, your enthusiasm, and your lived experiences are powerful tools for connection. And in fact, you're the only person who's experienced them in the way that you have, so you can share them in such a unique way. So as you share that journey authentically, it can resonate even more deeply, and present you in a place of authority. People are often drawn towards relatable stories of incremental progress, because they can see themselves in the process versus, the overnight success, which I don't believe there are overnight successes. By embracing where you are right now, you can create that bridge that others can join you on that path of growth and discovery that you're on. So your action item here is going to be to identify one area where maybe you've been holding back because you feel like you're not expert enough. Write down what you feel your current level or knowledge skill is, and then think about someone who might benefit from what you already know, and then share it. Share it this week. This could be through a conversation or social media post, or a simple way of guiding people through things. Just remember that, being just one step ahead can make you relatable and approachable. And focus on progress, not perfection, and reflect on how sharing your journey is helping others. Now, the next one is this connection catalyst that you have. So your passions can serve as a bridge for meaningful relationships. They can foster a sense of community and shared purpose. When you pursue interests that resonate with others, you create opportunities to really connect on a deeper level. When we go together, we go with much more stronger unit. Now, these sort of shared passions often lead towards conversations or collaborations or mutual growth, turning maybe a casual acquaintance into a trusted ally or even a lifelong friend. So as you think about this principle, it looks for, the social dimensions of passion. So by expressing what you love, you naturally attract others who share the same interests and appreciate your contributions. Like, this is the whole concept behind things like TikTok and why it's taken off so much. The connections you make, they're going to not only enrich your journey, but also amplify what your impact can be, as collective efforts often have a much greater reach than individual ones. So for this one, the action step is going to be find a group or create a small group of those who have similar passions to what you have. So you could be joining some sort of existing club, or maybe starting a meetup, or creating maybe an online group, and begin by reaching out. Like, find those 1-2 people who share your interest, and plan whatever that gathering may be, virtually or in person, where you can really connect and share your passion. During this sort of gathering or get together, focus on encouraging others' growth and ask questions about their experiences, share your enthusiasm, and explore how you can support one another along the way. Now, the next one is all about the evolution of your impact. So you start small and let your impact grow naturally. Every master started as a beginner, sharing their excitement with one person. Every grand impact starts with a small action. You don't have to have a perfect plan to begin sharing your passion. What matters most is that you just start doing it. Over time, small contributions really compound, allowing your impact to grow. So these principles, like this principle, is going to really emphasize the power of incremental progress, where each small step builds confidence. It's going to build momentum. It's going to build resilience. And focus on those small things, those small and meaningful actions. It's really going to create a much bigger ripple effect for you. Help one person with your skills or sharing enthusiasm in a small way. It can really lead to opportunities that you had never anticipated. Growth happens organically when we are consistent, open to feedback, and willing to adapt and learn. And so the action step here is to choose maybe one person who could benefit from your passion this week. Start by identifying their specific need and consider how your passions could address it. For example, once again, like if you love cooking, you could, prepare a meal for a busy friend. If you enjoy public speaking, help someone practice maybe an important presentation. Just whatever it is, focus on serving them, by serving them as well as possible by tailoring your actions to their unique situation. And at the end of the week, maybe reflect on the experiences, consider how small, consistent actions like this can really create that ripple effect over time. And then the last one I'm going to cover, I talk about from time to time, which is this idea of a legacy loop. When you share your passions really purposefully and intentionally, you inspire others to do the same. That creates that ripple effect of positive change. What this emphasizes is like the circular nature of giving. The more you share, the more others are encouraged and discover to share their own gifts. Your actions plant seeds in the lives of others, often in ways that you may not immediately see. The legacy that you build is not measured solely by maybe a tangible achievement, but by lasting impact you have on the people you touch. So when you live authentically, purposefully, and intentionally, you're going to create this model for others to follow, which really does foster a culture of giving and self-discovery that continues to grow even after your direct involvement ends. And so the action item here is to begin documenting your journey and turning passions into purpose. This could be in the form of a journal, a blog, short-form videos. Just reflect on what your successes are, your challenges, the lessons learned, and then as you do so, share one insight or story from your journey with someone. You could do that this week. It could be a social media post or a conversation or an email that you send to someone. By sharing, not only can you inspire others, but you also really do deepen your own understanding of your passions to create positive change. Now, as people work towards doing this, creating their passions into purpose, there are some struggles and there's some things that can come up, and I want to address four of them that I see. One is that maybe my passion seems too simple. Well, often the simplest interest can create the most relatable impact. I hear people say, I have too many interests. Well, cool, then look for common themes amongst those interests that point towards your unique way of serving. Where are those places that they can overlap? Think about the Venn diagram we had talked about. I'm still learning. That's when I hear, great, you're learning, you're on a journey. You sharing that you're learning can inspire others. It can help others to get started as well. And once again, as long as you're a step ahead, you can always be the expert to someone else. And then the fourth one I see a lot is I don't see the connection between, I don't see the connection to service. Everything you do, every interest or idea, if you think hard enough, it can be transformed into service. You just have to think creatively as possible to do that sometimes. Your passions, they aren't just for your own enjoyment. They really are clues to the unique ways that you can serve others. So start where you are, share what excites you, and watch how the universe uses your enthusiasm to really start creating some meaningful change. You just have to be intentional and purposeful about what that is. So if you're ready to explore how you can turn more of your passions into purpose and identify your gifts and superpowers and how you can create a greater impact in your sphere of influence, then you're going to want to go to thegivermethod.com and join the newsletter list, or go to thegivermethodbook.com, and get on the pre-launch list for the book, because both of those are going to help you as we send out updates and newsletters. You're going to receive exclusive insights on creating value for others through your natural interests and gifts and superpowers. Hey, if this video resonated with you, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Share it with someone who might need to hear this message. In the comments, I would love you to maybe tell me about about a passion that you'd like to turn into purpose. What you share, your share might really impact or inspire someone else to take action as well. And so until next time, keep growing, keep giving, and remember that your passions are the signposts for your purpose. So keep an eye out for them and be ready for the universe to start giving back to you as you develop those passions into purpose and your gifts into superpowers and deliver them to people in a way that you don't expect anything in return. Until next time, have a great rest of your day.